Welcome to the All Aboard with Visit Mickey podcast.
Hey, hello, hello, hello. This is Trisha with Visit Mickey and the All Aboard Visit Mickey podcast. So, first, I want to address why have I been gone so very long? Why has All Aboard been gone for so very long? Well, it is because I have a senior in high school, and that means college, 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 scholarship essays, college essays. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy time, and all of our downtime, which isn't even a lot, has been about getting my daughter into college and doing all the things that you have to do as a mom. Okay, so it does look like we have finalized our college search, and it looks like it's going to be University of Kentucky. So go Wildcats. And let's get some Wildcat love going here. I'm going to hashtag it. Maybe someone will find this page because of it. Okay. But why are we here today? We are back because one, we've been traveling like crazy, but nothing more important than the Disney destiny. So online right now, I am Trisha with Visit Mickey, and I have Dustin Burton with me. And Dustin, you may already follow him on Instagram. He is Dustin on Deck 4 DCL, and the 4 is the number 4. So welcome, Dustin, from Instagram fame. And we are going to definitely have you highlight where you rank in the Disney Cruise Line creator world. So, Dustin, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's so good to be here. What an exciting time for all of us in Disney Cruise Line World and Disney World for that fact. So thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, and yes. Okay, so I took the preview cruise 2 weeks ago, and Dustin got off the maiden voyage just the day ago, right? Was it
Yeah,
yesterday?
yesterday morning.
It literally was yesterday. And what did Dustin do? He did not go back home. No, he took the Bright Line up to Orlando and he already went to the Jollywood night party. So, in true Disney superfan fashion, he was not going to be that close to the park and not go. But it is time to talk about the Disney destiny with Disney Cruise Line. So let's go here. Where do we start? I will start with, because I was on the ship first, we had a preview where we spent one night ahead in a hotel and Disney provided all of the details. We didn't have to think, we just have to get on the right bus and keep it brought over. So when you're approaching a new ship, it just feels different. We were coming up the gangway and you see how clean the Destiny is, and they all are, but boy, this new ship, it just really like gives a little sparkle and shine. And then they introduce you. So they introduce our party and you walk into that grand lobby and it's like, okay, this one is different. So I'm sure you've seen the pictures. If you care about the Destiny, you've already seen this is a Wakanda lobby. So many nods to the Black Panther in this lobby. So many. And I thought the statue was really, really well done. So you have the Black Panther statue, and then right down from him is a Black Panther. And if you are familiar with the MCU, you know that that is the god Bast, Bast. That is who they follow. So what did you think? What did you think of entering the lobby for the first time?
I thought it was grand, as always, with this wish class and their grand hall. My immediate reaction to the statue was how impressed I was with it. I didn't think I was going to be as impressed with it as I really was in person. There's so much detail on the
Mm,
statue. I mean, it is black, so in photos you can only see so much of it. You can only,
yeah.
you can only see so much in photos, but in person, it blew me away. It's stunning to have the panther there next to him. I mean, it is amazing. I was so happy with it.
And I know later, like when you get some lobby time and there aren't a gazillion people around, like there is right at the entrance, I went over and really studied the statue, but also the eyes. The eyes of the panther look so real, like
Yes.
real eyes. It was incredible, very different from anything else they've done. The eyes of the panther are not like, part of the metal sculpture, right? They look like an eye. And that was really impressive to me. I like loved it. But
Completely
also,
agree.
if you know the movie, if you watched Black Panther and the Wakanda Forever, you know that when you get a zoom in on his suit, the little hexes and stuff in his suit when they zoom into it, and that is part of the statue. You see those vibranium. It's funny because it looks like, okay, there's the vibranium etching of his suit and the teeth, right? Like the teeth that
Yes.
hold the vibranium, it was all there. But also in the lobby is you see around the lobby, you see the teeth of his necklace are used around the lobby. And when we walked through the Destiny, we were like, oh, there's a nod to Tony Stark. Oh, there's a nod to Scarlet Witch. Oh, there's a nod. So we were doing that the whole 3 days we were there.
Yes, absolutely. And I mean, I guess this is true Disney fashion, right? Like, I mean, it is all about the details. It is all about going the extra mile. And so why was I surprised that I was impressed the way I am? I don't know, but I it was a pleasant surprise, of course. But I've heard some, not a lot, but there's been a couple people that just look at the picture of the Grand Hall and they say, "Oh, comparing that to, another Grand Hall and another ship, it looks plain." And I just want to say, when you are there in person, it does not look plain. It is so impressive, and then what it can do just absolutely blew me away. So I don't know if you want to get into that or not, but
I mean, I know there's so much to say. Here's what I'll say. So, talking about the color palette is muted. So, in that regard, for me, it was less beautiful. So the wish is more beautiful. And I felt the treasure was more beautiful. But that was because of the palette, right? The color palette was very different on this ship. Lots of nudes, lots of creams, lots of, versus color. The treasure had lots of color. And there was, and so for me, it's just a preference to the color palette. So this was very cream, silver, and gold and white and browns. It was all kind of that. So I do think in that regard. Now, yes, do they light it up when certain characters appear? Yes, they do. And the lobby, I think most of the time people have seen the lobby be green, but I've seen it green, I've seen it gold, I've seen it purple. Ooh, it's so pretty purple when they're lighting it up for an event. So I do think it has the ability to show off in a different way that makes it incredible.
yeah.
But what did you think of the chandelier? I've heard very mixed reviews of the chandelier of the Disney Destiny.
So I like it. I really do. I think for the theme, heroes and villains, I think the chandelier matches that perfectly. I love the look of it. I love how it can be multicolors at the same time. It doesn't all have to be green. It doesn't all have to be red. It can do different things at different times. And I think it really takes it to the next level when the Grand Hall is doing different things for, different events, different activities, kind of kiss the night goodbye, and whenever it does those special things. I was a
Hmm.
fan of it. Is it as maybe as magical, or as maybe the wish, which you can compare that to Cinderella's dress, and all the sparkles and stuff. No, but I think when it comes down to it, that's apples to oranges versus, the different themings of the different ships. But
Hmm.
I personally was not let down with it. And that's just where I wanted to reiterate too, when somebody who has not been on the ship yet and they see the photos and they see the skepticism, oh, this Grand Hall looks plain. I don't want that to push anybody away from going
Oh
on
gosh, no.
the Destiny because
Because it's
I'm
so
just telling you,
versatile.
correct. And in
Right.
person, there's so much texture, there's so much content behind or context behind every detail. It is impressive in person. So that's just
Yeah.
what I want to make sure comes across with this podcast.
I
Um,
agree because yes, it's a very versatile lobby. And yes, there is the initial appearance. I think, or we felt that the lobby chandelier was the vibranium sticking out, right? Like, is that what you
sure.
got? Yeah.
Yes.
So when you see the raw vibranium in the movie, right? And so it's like, oh yeah, this is good. And again, just that they thought of it, that they, I mean, like that, listen, it takes, Imagineers to come up with these things and for us to fall in love with them.
Like it or not, everybody has their own preference, and that's
Oh,
perfectly fine. But I think at the end of the day, I think we can all appreciate how different it is. I mean, we don't want the same type, the same vibe
correct.
of chandelier on every ship. So I just appreciate that they took that risk, they went for it. I think it paid off. Some people probably won't, and that's perfectly fine. But I was really happy with it actually.
Good. No, I love that. I mean, and listen, it is about because I prefer the treasure to the wish, right?
Sure. Yep.
And so there are things about the destiny I prefer to the treasure. So there are, and that's for the other podcast, but there are things but they're all amazing. That's
Yeah.
the important part. Yes, you might prefer this little element on this ship or this little element on this ship, and classic to dream to wish class, we all have our favorites,
Yes.
but they're all amazing, right? That's the
They
important
are.
thing to say is even if your favorite is the classic ship or the dream class ship, that doesn't make these not amazing. They're still amazing.
Absolutely.
So,
This is the Disney Destiny. This isn't the Disney Magic. This isn't the Disney Fantasy.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, okay, let's talk about the room type. I had a balcony and I had Brave. You had
I also had Brave for the theme. I had an ocean view, but it was a very special ocean view type room. It was a category, I believe, a 9B, and it was a deck 8 forward. It was all the way forward. It was one of the corner rooms. So the layout was not a normal room that you would be used to getting any standard type ocean view room. So it almost felt like a two bedroom, but it
I,
was incredible.
and listen, if you are listening to this podcast, what you need to do is go check out his reel on Instagram at Dustin on Deck 4 DCL because the size of that room was crazy. I'm like, okay, I wrote it down and I'm looking for that room next time because I did love the space that you had
Yes.
was so amazing. And listen, they upgraded their bathrooms. Like I
Yeah.
kind of felt like the bathroom took a little upgrade this time, and I was happy for that. But yes, we had Brave, and now I was part of a preview cruise, so I got to see the Brave, I got to see Raya, I got to see the Incredibles, and I loved the artwork that they chose this time. Hero and villain, we could say that again. What we're highlighting is heroes and villains. So when they did stuff at the park that kind of showed off villains, people went crazy. So to make a whole cruise that kind of dedicates to the hero villain vibe, so good. And for me, I will say they made the villains like I mean, like the stars of the ship. I felt that way.
Yeah.
And I'm more of, I would say, when I'm watching a movie, I'm more of a hero person. I want the hero, and to overcome the villain. And on this ship, these villains and the characters they portrayed were so incredible. So, okay, so we have our room. We go to our first lunches. I know we always, Dustin and I are the same. Skip
Yes.
Marceline. You can go to the buffet the rest of the trip, but on that embarkation day, you've had travel the night before, getting into the ship. Start off right. Go sit down and enjoy a sit down lunch on that first day. So we are in cahoots here. We like to do that.
And
But then
if
we hit the ground running after that. How about you?
Yes, we absolutely did the same. We were actually debating on if we wanted to do the same, just
Mm.
because there's so much to see. This is a brand new ship. Should we still take the time to sit down and have lunch as soon as we get on this brand new ship? Well, as soon as we got to port and we were able to log into the internet and our Disney Cruise Line app came alive, we saw that the sit down lunch for embarkation day was at Pride Lands, the Feast of the Lion King.
Oh,
So
okay.
it was a no-brainer. Yes, we are most definitely continuing to do that. So we went there for lunch and had the greatest time ever. The embarkation lunch menu is this standard embarkation lunch menu that most everybody should be used to if you've cruised on any of the Disney Cruise Line ships. But just to be in that restaurant and just to see it and just to feel the atmosphere, it was phenomenal.
Okay. And again, we are familiar here where we are getting that empanada, right, Dustin?
Yes,
We are
sure
getting the
did.
empanada. So, oh, and I would say, I wish I would have said this right from the get-go, but we did not really compare notes. Dustin and I are going to find out. I mean, he probably
Yeah.
saw my Instagram post and I saw his, but we have not had any chance. He got off the ship and he bright lined and he went to a party. So we haven't had a chance to talk. So we are going to learn about this thing together. Okay, so let's talk about what makes the Destiny so special. We have the lounges. So did you get to all the lounges?
We didn't get to every single one. I think most of them we were able to hit though. And
Okay.
they are
Did
so unique. I love them all.
Yes. Okay. So let's just talk about the Haunted Mansion first because it's
Yeah.
really almost identical. So did you get to that one?
So the answer is yes and no. So we went in there twice. It was, please note, this was a maiden voyage I was on. Everybody wanted to see everything everywhere. So it was just really wasn't a chance for us to actually sit down and enjoy a nice drink in Haunted
Okay.
Mansion Butler, unfortunately. That being said, we walked in there and walked around a couple of different times, and then we also did the Haunted Mansion photo shoot where it was closed, but you could go at a certain time and they have it set up where you sit down in a chair in a corner and
Nice.
there are some magic ghosts and goblins showing up in your photos. And that was so much
Nice.
fun to do a photo shoot in that bar. It was awesome.
Okay, that is nice. We did not have that opportunity, so I love that they did that. And again, yes, maiden voyages, they're crazy. And when you think about a maiden voyage, Pearl and Platinum, I mean, it's the entire ship is Pearl and Platinum
Yeah.
because they get the first chance to book it and they all want it. And if you know some of the perks of Pearl and Platinum, you will know that they also all want to have brunch at Palo and they all want to have dinner at Palo and they all want time in the cabana and they all so it is really difficult to get all the perks, even if you're platinum, and honestly, even if you're pearl, because there are a lot of pearl members. So I do know that it's definitely a different experience, but there also was some magical experiences that I didn't get. Susan Egan didn't come and do a champagne toast on mine. So there were perks to the maiden voyage. Okay, but I'm going to go back to the Haunted Mansion. So we
Yes.
didn't have that, but I did go late one night. And so the differences are the mirror, right? Like the ghosts in the mirror are different between one and two. I'm sorry, between the treasure and the destiny. And they had new tiki mugs. So there were two new tiki mugs, and then they added the sipper. But I really bet the sipper will be available on the treasure. It's not going to be unique to the destiny. It's just new right now. So I did get pictures of those things and video of those things, but I did not feel like I was in a different place than the treasures. It felt the same, even
Sure.
if there were some new ghosts.
Yeah.
So the other ones are the Sanctum and DeVille's. How about those? Did you make it to those?
Yeah, we actually did. Yes. So Sanctum, we actually took the time. We did a couple of different trivias in there. I can tell you the Sanctum was very popular, as is DeVille's, as is Haunted Mansion Parlor. But the Sanctum was great. I did not have a chance to really try any of their special drinks, but what I did try there is they have stuffed waffles. They have two different kinds. One is custard, like a custard filling, and then the other is like a berry filling. And then the dipping sauce with the berry one, I believe, is some caramel sauce, and then the one with
Mhm.
custard is like Nutella. And
Okay.
I did tried both, and they both were phenomenal.
Oh, my
So so good we may have ordered them another day and another time. The custard one is probably my favorite though with the Nutella. But that was just a unique experience and that was really really good.
Wonderful. Okay. I kind of feel like, yeah, so you had a 4 night, right? Or was it
Correct.
5? 4.
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So ours was a 3 night and it was running, running, running. So I
Is
sat down for a drink at the Sanctum and I got the oolong tea drink
okay.
and the hot drink where they pour it. I have a video of it, so it'll be up on Visit Vicky eventually. But, we were like, okay, what are we going to get? What are we going to get? What are we going to get? So we're like, just looking at the pictures and stuff. We're like, oh, let's try this. Oh my gosh. That drink was strong, so very strong. And so Robert and I were sharing it, and I was just like, are you going to finish this? He goes, I don't think so, because we got a lot to do today.
That's great.
Much. Anyway, so yes, there are so many great elements. And honestly,
Yeah.
one of the elements is like kind of way behind the bar in a corner, which is Doctor Strange cape. The cape that
Yes.
saves him so many times. And I'm like, that's kind of a bummer. I wish it had a little bit better place. I get it. It's hard. It's hard to find the spot for everything. But I did go, oh God, that's a little, I wish it was placed better because someone had to go, did you see the cape? And I'm like, no, I didn't see the cape. I had to go find the cape.
So we
But
actually
also,
were talking about that, and
okay,
one of the guys that I was with doing trivia, he and I were talking, and we both agreed it should have been on the ceiling. Wouldn't that have been cool if it was like hanging up
yes,
there? That would
yes.
that would have been kind of
I
cool.
loved, okay, so again, are you an MCU follower? If so, and you've watched all the movies like I have, because that is my brand, when you watch the first Doctor Strange movie and he's asking about the restricted books, and those books are kept behind chains, that's there. So the chains with books in them is at the sanctum. You have the eye that holds the time stone is tucked away beautifully. You've got to look around, but when you find it, you go, oh my goodness, there it is. So many other magical elements that you would recognize from the movies. So again, I really loved the vibe of the Sanctum. I really loved that. I thought they really took time to make it feel like this is a place Doctor Strange would hang out and all the other people who follow that path, right? It looked like, like the sanctum. And the other thing is the drinks, like the floating drink. Again, you could totally see this is the way that Doctor Strange is going to enjoy his cocktail. It's going to be elevated, floating, and turning at the same time. And the things that they've come up with that for that lounge, I thought were just really incredible.
Yes.
All right. So now potentially my favorite of the three, which is DeVille's.
Yes.
Oh my goodness, the decor of DeVille's. It is lush, stunning. The piano is perfection. But to me, it is the decor. everything they've done, if you know the story of Cruella de Vil, if you know how important fashion is to her, and even though, just want to kind of highlight that when you see the character of Cruella on the ship, she is the character of the animated movie. However, I think that bar is the live action Cruella because the
Yes.
fashion is too good. It is so incredible. The chairs, which Dustin has a little information, I saw it on his page, or I would not have known. So tell them about the chairs, especially there's like two specific chairs, and maybe we can put that
Yeah.
in there, but to look at. But go ahead.
Yeah, so there's two unique chairs when you walk in. Currently, when you walk into DeVille's, the piano is straight ahead, and these chairs are off to the right. That could change throughout sailings, of course. But when you see them, one is red, one is white, you will know exactly what I'm referring to. They are just a unique design of their own. There has to be one of a kind. They were specially made for DeVille's, and they are about $8,000 per chair. I was blessed to be sitting in one of them and felt like royalty. But also, because we were on a maiden voyage, one of the special things that we got to do was there was a cast of several Broadway and Disney stars on board our sailing, including Susan Egan, Jordan Fisher, and several other incredible Broadway stars. And they put on a one night special show for us during this maiden voyage in the Walt Disney Theater called Heroes versus Villains. And one of the performances that they did was Cruella de Vil. And they actually took the chairs out of de Vil's piano bar, and used them on stage for that performance. And they all kind of rotated sitting in those two chairs, along with a couple of other chairs that were also on stage for them. So that was just a nice little fun fact and kind of a cool fact that I learned, and that was really cool. But I completely agree with you as far as the design, the look, the feel of DeVille's. It is, I don't know. I don't want to use incredible, phenomenal, amazing 100 times on this podcast for you all. So I guess I'm just going to say, as it is probably the most unique venue on
Hmm.
the Disney Destiny. It's
Hmm.
just so unique of its own, and all of the little extra touches that there are in this piano
Yes,
bar.
it is black, white, and red everywhere you turn, black, white, and
Yeah.
red. But it is, I will say, I mean, I hear you that we don't want to say everything is amazing, amazing, amazing,
Yeah.
but I do think this is the most lush of all the ones on the three Wish Class ships. I think this is the one that you go, oh, wow. I walked in and I did go, wow. And I've been on all three. So this one to make me feel that way, I gotta say you have to give it up to them.
There's a
Now,
couple of just like a couple of things I wanted to kind of point out that I just love about DeVille's as well. And they're very small. There's nothing major about these, but well, the first one's kind of big. There are some hidden Mickeys on the grand piano that looks like a Dalmatian. So I think those are really cool. Those always make me smile when I see them. But one of the two times that I was in there and ordered a drink, I was given, sometimes when you're in a lounge on a Disney cruise ship, they'll give you some like little peanuts or some pretzels just to snack on for free while you have your drink. I was given a little jar of white and black M&Ms
yes,
during my sitting at the bar with my drink. So I mean, like, they didn't have to do that, but it just made
no,
me smile and go, there's your extra little Disney
there's
touch.
the little touch there, and they're circles, which kind of,
Right.
so.
It
Um,
fits.
It does fit. Now, I will say that when we talk about going to DeVille's, even though this now falls under entertainment, there is an activity that takes place at DeVille's. So you could be in there accidentally and it can come upon you, or or you look at your Disney Navigator app and you get there on time and find a seat. But while you're in there enjoying the music and the cocktails, the people who, you know how there's a host of a ship, the hosts being the godparents, godmother and godfather on the Wish, and then the two that are on the Treasure, which we renamed them. And the darn thing is I remember the name we renamed them, not their actual names. But Gamble and Zaya are the two on the Destiny. And so when they show up, you're like, okay, a show is about to start. I do think they were very good. They're very quick-witted. I enjoyed all the different kind of things they did. And there is a show there where we start singing Cruella de Vil. Everybody in the piano bar starts going, Cruella de Vil song, and Cruella storms in and says, I hate this song. It's a terrible song. Don't ever sing this song again. It's awful. It's ruined my life. And they say, well, why don't we write you a new song? And the whole bar gets together and she leaves. And we have 15 minutes to write a new song, a nice song about Cruella. And it is so fun because these are like improv pros. And so they're just like throwing out words and we have to come up with something that matches the word. And then that's the next verse of the song. And then we get to the bridge and they're like, okay, now here's what the bridge sounds like, but what are the words we're going to use? And then she comes back in and we sing the song to her to see if she'll approve of our new version of Cruella de Vil. That is a very fun and unique activity to the Destiny. So that is one of the things you can do with Cruella.
That is called Treble with Cruella.
Treble with Cruella.
Yeah.
That's what it's called. So that is actually one of the things that you can do. And again, that is a character experience that happens in a lounge. And that is a new thing for the Disney Cruise Line. And then also Cruella, if you really love her, she has a fashion show runway that she kind of monitors and gives her opinion on people's clothing. So that is fun. And people came to walk the runway in all level. I mean, there was costume, there was bounding like Cruella. There was someone who just dressed like they were going to church, like Sunday church, and I mean, I loved the experience because she was just like, ew, what are you bringing that to my runway for? Like,
Yeah.
it was this person was so tuned into that character. It was amazing.
Yeah. And
And
that was in
then
the Grand Hall for the maiden voyage.
that
Was
is
that
in
the
the
Grand
Grand
Hall?
Hall.
Yeah.
And for us, it was the last day. And it does seem like it would probably be a last day thing everywhere. But I mean, who knows for sure? That was very fun. And we stumbled upon it. We were running from one event to another. And then it's like, oh, this is that thing we saw that we wanted to try and see. So we were a party of four when we went for the preview. So we had to split up. Like two people went and did one thing and we did that thing. And it was a way to get, extra content. And then there's something called Studio 5. So did you get to anything in Studio 5?
So we did not. Word kind of got out about what happens in this studio, and let's just say it was one of the most popular things on our sailing. Whatever was going on in this studio was probably the most popular thing going on at that point in time. And I'll just be honest, we just couldn't commit the timing that we needed to as far as lining up multiple hours in advance. Now, granted, again, this was the maiden
Maiden
voyage.
Voyage.
Not every
Yeah.
voyage is going to be like this, but
No.
for us, no, we unfortunately did not get to do anything in studios.
Okay. So again, there is ruining the show, which Dustin and I both agree is not something we want to do. We want you to experience it. And even the Cruella show that I just talked about, I don't want you to know everything. I give you a tease, right? Because you got to go experience it yourself. Now, there are two things that happens in the studio on deck 5 that I do think is incredible. Like meeting Cruella and having her judge you right there in person and critique your look is hysterical. It's hysterical. And I went there up, my hair done, my makeup done, and in a pretty blouse, in nice tailored pants, right? And in the right shoes even, right? And she goes, this is how you come to me? I was not wearing black, white, and red. I was wearing different colors, and she was offended. I would see her dressed like that, and I was just like, I'm so sorry. I really am. And then later, I happened to run into her only wearing black and white, and she remembered me and goes, better. It just was like, okay. So
That's
again,
great.
knowing that character, knowing the
Yeah.
kind, but again, the special stuff about Deck Five, the studios on Deck Five, is that it's pretty one-on-one. So if you get that opportunity, I understand the lines can be crazy, but I do agree with Dustin. That was a maiden voyage problem. I don't think it's going to be that way always, but you check out your Navigator app and you can look by character and you're going to look for Cruella and see where she is and when she's doing things. But the other person who meets there is Dr. Facilier. And this is from Princess and Frog. He's the Shadow Man from Princess and the Frog. And he has two activities there. Again, we talked about how villains are really the star of this ship. And he does a tarot card reading for a group of people. And he does a one-on-one where you sit in a chair and he walks around you in a circle and he's creepy and he's doing things to make you uncomfortable. And there's pictures being taken and stuff, but it's meant to be. He's intimidating. He's meant to intimidate you. But of course, you're safe. This is Disney, but he's a creepy intimidation. So Dustin didn't get to do either of those two things because that's where they were. But we were lucky on a preview and we did them the first day. By the second day, the word was out and those lines were crazy. And again,
Yeah.
a preview cruise, these are influencers and travel agents, so they all wanted the experience, so the lines were crazy. So, but we were lucky to do it the first day before the news of what happens in that room got out. So I want to
Yeah.
count us lucky.
Yeah, and I will say, even though I personally did not get to experience any of that in there, I spoke with multiple people on the maiden voyage with me after they did certain things in there, and not one person had one negative thing to say about anything that they experience in this studio. One person even said he has been on every ship that Disney has, and it was the single best character interaction he's ever experienced. So, just to give you a feel of
Yeah.
how good this is and everything that they
Yeah.
have done in
I
there.
will say on our 3 day sailing and all we experienced, we went to every show. Hercules, we haven't even talked about yet. We went onto every show. We, ate at every dinner. We did Pride Lands. We did it all. We did everything we could fit in.
Yeah.
And the Dr. Facilio tarot reading is my favorite thing of the whole ship. So,
There you
but
go.
it was just that I got lucky to be one of the people picked out. And I mean, if I was just watching it, maybe I'd feel differently. I was lucky, right? So it was a game changer for me. And then again, just because we're talking about the villains before, because I know we have a hard stop, we're talking about the villains. So Loki makes an appearance and Maleficent. Maleficent gets a lot of time on this ship. There's a private meeting in Saga or a private show in Saga that you could sign up for. There's what she does in the lobby. There's just, standing up for pictures. I feel like Maleficent gets a lot of playtime in the Disney Destiny.
Yes, I completely agree. There are one of the things Loki is in, but there are just two things I kind of wanted to mention that I feel like are one-off character interactions that just really impressed me. I'm not sure if you were able to experience them on the preview or not, but they both take place in the Grand Hall, and one is Sounds of Wakanda. Were you able
Mm,
to take part in that?
yes.
So it was an interactive experience where a troupe of musicians they come to celebrate the music and culture of Wakanda. And of
Hmm.
course, there's a special appearance in there, but it was really, really cool. It was just a unique cultural musical experience in the Grand Hall to where the Grand Hall came to life. There was stuff happening on the Grand Hall stage, there was stuff happening on the staircase. So that was just a unique experience that really, really impressed me.
And yeah, the
As
music,
well,
the
yes,
drumming and the shaking. Yeah, yes,
yep,
yes, yes,
it's
yes.
so
Oh,
cool.
okay. When you got to see it, can I ask, did they pick people out of the audience to participate?
For that one, I believe they did. Yes. Yep. You were one of them for your sailing. That's
Yes, I
great.
was. Yep, they.
The other thing is a celebration of a king. It was totally different, but the same type of character interaction where it was
I didn't
something
see
going
that.
on. Yeah, it was Celebration of a King was I'm reading from a screenshot that I took in the app because it really stood out to me. But it was a celebrate. See, the Black Panther will be there for a celebration of his compassionate spirit, unwavering courage,
Um,
and boundless kindness. And so he will be there, but somebody else will be there and try to take over as king.
of
So they have
course.
to sort that out before the end of the show. And that is crowd participation as well. So, and that's in the
Mm,
grand hall, again, using the stage, using the stairs. It's just unique experiences that you can only get
yeah.
on a Disney Destiny.
The Grand Hall, I just really briefly want to say, we talked about the lobby and we talked about the lighting, we talked about the chandelier, we talked about the statue. But
Yeah.
that carpet, the carpet and the
Yes.
heart-shaped herb and the bast and the carpet is beautiful. You definitely are you going on this ship? You got to go up to deck 4 and deck 5 and look down at that carpet and really in awe
With the two
of
Panthers.
the two panthers. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
I don't even want to admit this, but I went the first day without even seeing the Panthers in the carpet.
Hmm.
Like
No,
there's so much
when
detail in
you're
it.
on the carpet, it's a lot harder. But when you look
Yes,
from above, it
yes,
it oh, it's so
yes.
good.
Yeah.
I I,
And
I mean, again, they all have their story. I just think the things they thought to put into this carpet, I was
yes,
so happy to see,
yes.
right?
There are, I'm not sure if you noticed or not, there's a glass door. It's usually open, but there's a glass door when you're going from the grand hall forward on deck 3, like you're going towards the sanctum, and there's glass doors, and on the glass doors it has that design, that emblem with the panthers on them, and it's beautiful. I
Yeah,
just
etched, right? It's the etched
Yes,
door. Yeah.
incredible.
I know. I mean, after you said that, you're so right. Okay, so really quickly, we had the Cove is in the same place, deck 13 in the very, very back, but the Cafe Megara and the Brave is Merida's. What was Merida's called?
Yeah, Cafe Merida.
Cafe Merida. So Cafe Megara and Cafe Merida. It is funny. I did see it on your Instagram page, so I had to laugh that yes, Cafe Megara was like swamped, and
Yes.
Cafe Merida is one deck higher, and it's got basically all the same stuff, and it was not always swamped. But I think that a lot of people are on deck 3 and they're willing to walk up one flight of stairs. So then,
Correct.
going up another flight of stairs. But very unique. I loved them both. I love them both again because we're talking about hero and villain and the show being Hercules. Of course, Meg's, I think also people like are all Hercules in their heads. They want to go to Meg's
Yes.
cafe. I love the little moments if you look around the lightning bolt chandelier and just like all the little pluses. So when you go, make sure you get a coffee and get an imprint of the coffee. That's a wonderful thing to do. Makes a little special moment to your coffee.
I
But those
didn't
are things that we like to do and we talk about. But because we have to consider time, I want to go to the shows and
Yes.
say, let's talk the shows. So what are the shows that you had while you were there?
So we had Seize the Adventure,
Okay.
Frozen, and Hercules.
Okay. So we did not have Seize the Adventure. Now, if you are a Disney cruiser, and likely you are if you're going to sit and listen to this podcast, Seize the Adventure is on multiple ships. It is a cute show. I love the show. I mean, I really do. It's a great little show. Minnie and Goofy really or Goofy being the star of the show. So I like it, and I'm glad that they have it on the ship.
So I forget. I'm just going to be honest. I don't I know I've seen Seize the Adventure multiple times. I love it. You're right. It's a shorter show. It's cute.
Yes.
It's kind of honestly it's the perfect show to have on night 1 of your Disney cruise, which is when it is.
Yes.
But and just because it's been a little while since I've seen Seize the Adventure, I want to say this is new for the Destiny, but on Seize the Adventure for the Destiny, there is a section of the show that is Hercules.
Oh,
I
well
don't
then, yeah,
remember
that's different.
I don't remember that on the other ships that has Seize the
Yeah.
Adventure. I assume it's obviously because it is the Destiny, but I thought that was kind of cool to see Hercules involved in Seize the Adventure.
No, that's great. And then Frozen. So again, if you've been on The Wonder, then you know the Frozen
Yep.
show. It's the same show as on The Wonder. And again, it's a good show. And then there's Hercules. So Hercules, now the things I was excited about was seeing the Titans and seeing the Hydra. So, and I I am impressed. I am impressed. And I still have some reservations about some of the things I saw. But I also was on a preview cruise. So that's a little hard because even though they know the show and they're going to do it live for a maiden voyage and beyond paying crowd, I thought, I don't know that it's a 10 for me. So how about you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think ultimately I agree with you. I There were some things I really loved about it. I thought that was really cool. I left the show I left the show, I guess, happy with seeing Hercules. I was very excited to see it. I mean, go the distance. How can that not move you? How can you not love that? It is great. And the cast, wonderful, all super talented. I will tell you, the one thing that I actually really enjoyed about Hercules is kind of the props on stage. So
Mhm.
without spoiling anything, there's two long staircases that move with the help of cast, and then like one big long metal, I don't even know what it would be, that metal platform that you can walk on that's up high, and it moves as well. It gave me Disney Newsies vibes. And I mean, again, like that has nothing to do with the actual Hercules, but I really liked it. It really impressed me. Like some of the designs that they used for the set kind of that's what sets Hercules apart from some of the other shows that we're used to on Disney Cruise Line.
Yeah. Now, see, for me, it gave me very Aladdin vibes.
Okay.
So
I can see
Aladdin,
that.
he's running up the stairs, jumping down,
Yeah,
da 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 da, stairs turning. So it gave me very Aladdin vibes. And he was in a shop a lot, like at the beginning, where he was like in a marketplace. And I was like, that felt off to me. But again, that was not really the big part of Hercules. The big part of Hercules is after he starts he goes and finds Phil and starts doing the job of a hero and trying to become a hero. That's when the show really shines.
sure.
And of course, meeting Meg. But again, I gotta say, I think Hades stole that show. And
Agree.
I don't think that the villain is supposed to be the hero here. The hero is supposed to be the hero of the show and supposed to be who you root for. And the person who played Hades was so good. And I almost was like, at first I'm going, is he mimicking James Woods? Because the voice was also so close to the movies. And James Woods has gone on record, if you give me anything Hercules related, I'm gonna do it because I love that character. And I'm like, at first I'm like, is that him talking or is it James Woods talking? Because he really had him down.
So
So I did
so
think
the guy who plays Hades, his name is Matthew Patrick Quinn,
yes.
and he is phenomenal.
I walk by him at the cove. I'm headed to the cove, and he's on deck 13 in the back by the bar, the bartender. And I walk by him and I go, "Oh my gosh!" And he's now just there, not in Hades clothing. And I go, "Ish." And I stopped the person I was with. I'm like, "Look, Zeus," which Zeus isn't even in the play. There's no Zeus appears on the play. It's just that I was so excited that I said the wrong name. And I turned and I'm like, "You're Zeus." And he looked at me and had the cross eye and he's like, um, and then Robert's like, Hades Drashot. I'm like, oh my God, you knew what I meant. I am just, wow. And I told him, so amazing. It was so good that I thought he stole the show. And I told him so. Hercules is doing so much. He is running, he is singing, he is jumping, and I'm like, it was hard to keep up with Hercules. So sometimes I just think sometimes the standing and less movement can be more emotional. And maybe that was why. But I thought Pegasus is another person. I thought he really stole the show too. I thought the
Yeah,
way the
yeah,
guy who played Pegasus was so good. And I thought Hades was so good. And I'm not even a villains person. So it was kind of funny for me to feel that way.
I will
But
say
it's
regarding
still,
yeah,
yeah.
regarding Hades, so what our group of people were talking about after we walked out of the theater, everybody loved Hades, just like you did, Trisha. What what one person said was, well, this is not going to spoil anything, but the outfit, I'll say outfit that he is first in at the very beginning of the show, they wish he would have stayed in that for the entire
Ah,
show
yeah.
because it was so awesome. Like it was
Mm-hmm.
so cool. But again, that's not spoiling anything. If anything,
Huh.
that's giving you a little
No.
tease. So
Yeah, just a little tease.
yeah,
Okay, so I do think it's a great show. A great show. Again,
yes.
I saw a preview, so it's gonna get better. But the stuff that they did with the Hydra and with the Titans, when he has to fight the Titans, when he has to fight the Hydra, I mean, when you're talking these big, ginormous characters, and he doesn't grow, so what they have been able to do is really it's really something. So
Yeah,
don't ever
one
skip the shows, especially if you're new to Disney Cruise Line.
correct. And I'm with you. I mean, I am happy. I'm excited to see this show again next time I'm on board. One other tease that I will give with this show that really impressed us was this does involve Hercules, is where he's fighting, fighting some bad guys toward the end, and you think he's lost the battle, but the way that you discover he did not lose, that kind of left everybody with their jaw on the floor. So that was just kind of cool how they did that, and a lot of people that
Yeah.
I with was impressed with that. So
Yes.
kudos
Yeah.
Hercules.
No, I mean, great show. Do not skip the shows. Don't skip the shows. Don't think, no, they're great. They're
Yeah,
Broadway caliber shows. It's just a smaller stage because of the size of the ship, but they in every other way.
yeah,
And I saw Frozen on Broadway, and I'm telling you, this doesn't really like, you don't go, it's not the Broadway version. It's very, very, very good. So, because we have to worry about time, I want to talk about, and Dustin has no idea I'm about to say this. I want to talk about some untruths I've seen
okay,
influencers say. I it's one of those things that I lose my mind when an influencer gets on their platform and then says things that just aren't true. They're just not
yeah,
true. So I'd like to address some things, and I hope if you've heard these, you will hear me say, okay? So I watched an influencer say that the Disney Destiny is, even though it's not an adult only ship, it is very geared towards adult, and you will never see a child at the pirate night. Have you ever seen children at pirate night, Dustin?
I have, including the maiden voyage, when there shouldn't have been as many kids on board as there actually was.
Right. Like typically those are the things that do have less kids because it's the adults that want to go. And again, the
Right.
pearls and the platinums and stuff. And so typically you're right. But kids don't go to pirate night. Not true. So the
Mhm.
people who say to you, you're not going, and they showed a crowd where they didn't have kids. However, I was on that same sailing. There might have been 20 kids on the sailing because it was all influencers and travel agents, and we weren't bringing our families. We were bringing our coworkers to get more content to make it about work.
Yep.
So, yes, there were some influencers who had their kids aboard, like maybe a Tim Tracker has his kid aboard, but that's part of the show for him. So I just want to dispel that is not true. Because also that could turn away someone who goes, well, God, I think my kid would like to go to Pirate Night. It happened to be not a lot of kids on our sailing, However, it's not true. There are kids that go to Pirate Night. Now, there's also a second pirate attraction that is geared towards kids. It's the Mickey and Friends do a pirate show, and it's at like maybe 7. If the show is 10, at 7:30 they do a smaller kid friendly version that is done by Mickey and Friends versus the adults, right?
I think it's in between the
Um,
dining times, right?
yes, in between.
Yeah.
Yes, it is in between. So I just wanted to take care of that one. And then I watched an influencer say, if you love the villains, you must take the Disney Destiny because Loki takes over the entire ship for almost the entire cruise and it becomes Loki's cruise. True.
Not true.
Not true. Maybe 20 minutes at each different thing, right? Like when he comes in and he takes over and then he does a meet and greet, then he leaves.
Yeah.
It's 15, 20 minutes, people.
Or in a show, he might try to take over the show until somebody has to put him in his place.
Absolutely. He is definitely a fan of take over a show,
Yeah.
but he does not manage the ship for the whole thing. And they actually said for almost the whole sailing, almost the whole cruise, Loki has taken over. I'm like,
Untrue.
why do people do this? It's not true. I heard that on the Disney Destiny is the only Wish class ship that offers snacks along with your coffee. No, there's no food in the Cove on any of the Wish class ships. There are pastries in the first 4 ships that you can get along with your coffee in the Cove. I'm a huge fan of that, getting my coffee and getting a little pastry. But someone said specifically that the Destiny is the only ship of this class that offers pastries at the Cove, and it's not true. So don't listen to that person. And then I am obviously not naming names here, right? I'm not trying to start a problem. But there was an influencer who has nothing to do with Disney. Like some of these people have covered Disney for years, but there was an influencer couple on who has never done anything with Disney before, and they rated the food of the Destiny. And some of the words they used were trash. Now I could tell you, even if you don't like an individual dish of food on the Destiny or any of the ships, their food is not trash. Their food is good. Their food is very good on the Disney ships. They even knocked Palo. Palo. They said the pizza tasted like cafeteria pizza. Dustin is rubbing his head. And I know this is a podcast, so it's mostly
Sorry.
audio, but
Yeah. I don't even they don't even deserve words from me at this point.
hear you. I hear you. And yet I had to bring it to light.
Yeah.
Now, to call Palo Pizza cafeteria level pizza, I'm sorry. Like, I might have to unfollow you.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. So I just say this because the one thing that I want to be is authentic in we want you to trust. We're travel agents, right? So, and Dustin is a creator who specializes in Disney Cruise Line. We don't want to only show the good. We want to showcase the reality of it. And then the reality is Disney Cruise Line is a premium product. They really focus on luxury aspects and in the beauty, in the accessibility, in the food. They really are trying to bring the best of the best to families. This is their market. So we think they hit a lot of the time, they hit it right on the head. And then there's
Yes.
times that I go, like, I will just say it, put pastries back in Cove on the Wish class ships. I
Yes.
want to have a pastry with my coffee, and I don't want to have to bring it with me. I don't want to have to go to Marceline and grab my pastry and walk to the Cove to get a premium coffee. So just
Yep.
leave them there. A little case. It doesn't have to be as big as it is on the Dream or the Classic ship, but have a little
Mhm.
case of pastries. So there. See, that's something negative. But honest. We're going to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so let's say Rose and Crown. I know you have to go. Your Rose and Thorn. So your favorite and your least favorite thing.
Okay. So I would like to give a little bonus nod to just one quick show we did not touch on. It is an adults only 18 plus show in Saga. It is the Marvel comedy show.
What?
I know we have, so I apologize to everyone for the hard stop. I am still at Disney World. I have a Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party tonight with dining reservations. But anyhow, the Marvel comedy show in Saga, I will just be honest with you. I am not a huge Marvel whatever. Like I don't Marvel trivia. I'm not going to win it. I love it, but I'm just not going to win it. I loved this show so much. It was so good.
Oh,
Everybody
hysterical.
everybody was laughing. I mean, there wasn't somebody not. It was amazing. And Trisha, I know, saw it on the preview and she told me, she's like, do not miss it. And I'm so
No,
glad she gave me that heads up. So this is our heads up to you all not to miss that
don't.
show.
Yes, adults, Saga, the Marvel comedy show. It is 18 and up. It should be 18 and up.
It should.
They say some
Which is
things, they do some things.
it's yes.
It's light. It's
Adults
light.
will appreciate it.
Yeah,
It's needed.
light.
Um,
It's not raunchy in any way,
totally.
but
Yeah.
also you need a light understanding of the MCU. You do not have to be an expert in the MCU for this. A light
Yeah.
understanding is all you need to enjoy this show.
Yep. Their physical comedy is just brilliant. But anyhow, I'll move on to my rose. And it is, I've talked about this on this podcast with you. If you follow me on Instagram, you know by now that ever since I started cruising in 2012, I have been wanting a Lion King themed restaurant with Broadway style music. And we get that with Pride Land's Feast of the Lion King. I loved it. I loved it. My heart was happy. My expectations were too high, and
Mm.
and it was unfair to Disney Cruise Line. And I said that on this podcast before as well. But even with that, they met my expectations. Could there have been more? Of course, but I was so happy with it. The show, the show was perfect in the way that in my mind I wanted it to be perfect. I'm
Mhm.
not saying they couldn't do more, they couldn't do different things because they could, but they hit music that I wanted them to hit when it comes to The Lion King, and it was just enough for me. I
Uh,
loved
can
it.
I just say
Yeah,
Lion King 1 and 2? The music is from Lion King 1 and 2. So when we were on the preview and they were playing songs from 2 and Kiera was there, the daughter, people were like, I thought it's supposed to be a Lion King show. And I'm like, okay, so they didn't know. And so it is music from 1 and 2. So if you only know Lion King 1, you might be like a little confused, but there you go. There's the hint for
yeah.
you.
Yep. And then I'll touch on the food real quick because I that was my most concerned thing just because I'm not afraid to try any type of food. I like a lot of different type of food, but I'm not a big fan of like spices and hot stuff and I was just concerned. I will just give you a very high level of what I had, what I liked without going into any detail. I'll do this on my Instagram so everybody can see exactly what I'm talking about. But I did two appetizers, which was like the chicken skewers and the shrimp. Both were fantastic. It was great. I don't know what the shrimp was laying on. I don't know if it was grits. I didn't go back and read. I didn't necessarily like that, but the shrimp itself was great. The chicken and rice was great. The only thing I did not actually eat more than one bite of was I wanted to try the soup. It was a sweet potato soup with a hint of coconut. I I've never heard of that pairing before in my life. I didn't expect to like it, and of course I didn't. My I was just confused because it tasted like mashed up beans, and my issue is I don't like beans unless they're green. So it was just not happening, but that's not Disney's fault. That's my preference.
It's preference. Yeah.
Right, it is. For the entrees, I had the chicken, the roasted chicken, and also did the lamb shank. Shank, I mean, melted in your mouth. And the roasted chicken was the star of the show. Like I could have had another piece of chicken if I wanted. Like it was that good. So I
Mine was spicy. And
it was see,
again,
mine was not at all
I
spicy.
was like, so it's funny you're saying these words and I'm going, I ate one bite of my chicken and that's what
Yeah.
my entree was and I ate one bite and I went, oh my God, this is hot. So I don't know if they adjusted. I don't know if I
Yeah.
happen to have a hot piece, but I asked the waiter, I'm like, is this hot? And he said, do you mean spicy or temperature? I go, spice. And he goes,
Yeah.
oh no, not at all. And then I took one bite and I'm like, I will not be eating that. I could
Yeah.
not eat that.
Mine
So
Mine was not spicy. So I'm hoping mine is the way that it should have been correctly prepared and
yeah,
they were still trying to figure things out on your preview,
yeah.
fingers crossed. If you are on the Destiny and you have this roasted chicken, let us know. How was it for you on the spice scale?
Yes.
Then the last thing is desserts. I tried every one. Every single one of
Okay.
the desserts. There was
So
five
the
of them.
cheesecake, the square cheesecake that was orange.
So it was square for you.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was not for us. It was
Oh,
long. Was it the one that had like a some kind of like a passion fruit filling or whatever it may have
yes.
been? Yeah,
Yes.
it was long. It was
Oh,
not square. It
okay.
was the winner of the five desserts. So I should say I tried all five desserts minus the no sugar one. I didn't have that one. But I enjoyed every single dessert. It was great. I know I've heard things going into this cruise where, people had some issues with some of the food and they were questioning. But to Trisha's point, on these preview cruises, they still use those
Absolutely.
to figure things out and
Absolutely. Yeah.
recipes. So again, I know that was a very quick high level overview, but I enjoyed it. I really did. I'm so happy. My heart is so happy. And yeah, I'm on Instagram if you have more detailed questions, and I will be highlighting all of that over there. I even told everybody that follows me, I'm like, I want to sit down and give you this content and explain everything to you, but I loved it so much. I want it to be authentic and I want to give you as much detail and context as possible. And currently I'm still on vacation and I just need time to do that. So it's coming soon, I promise.
Absorb it all. Absorb those feelings and things. So,
It's so much, but in a
yeah.
good way.
Okay. And how about
Thank
a
you.
thorn? Do you have a thorn?
The thorn, there was nothing specific that like turned me off or like there was
No.
nothing specific that made me just, oh no, why did you do that? I think that was my biggest surprise was even if it wasn't 10 out of 10 every single thing I experienced,
Oh, no.
everything at least met my expectations, and I left very pleased and very happy with this ship. Like I am happy and excited to sail on this ship again. So yes, kudos to Disney, the Disney Destiny. I love it.
Wonderful. My rose has to be Dr. Facilier. I He is one of the few villains that I like, right? I liked him from the minute that movie came out. I thought it was such a different kind of villain. So he was someone I wanted to meet. And I got very lucky to be the person who to actually get the tarot card reading, which only happens to one person per show. So I was lucky. And I think that's part of why it's so good for me, but it's definitely my number one thing of the trip. Do I have a thorn? I think I would just say what would I say my thorn is? I'm like even looking through my notes saying, did I have, oh, I remember. I remember. Okay. So there are three shows. There's Frozen, there's Adventures of the Sea, and there's Hercules. My thorn is that Frozen is on that show, is on that ship. So we were on a preview cruise, and on that preview cruise happened to be some of the decision makers of what they did on the ship. And so I stayed behind and I said, "Hey, can I just ask you a question?" I said, "Did you know of the show called Rogers the Musical from Loki, not Hawkeye fame, right? The TV show Hawkeye on Disney Plus, and the stage presentation at Disneyland. There's the play that they do in the Disney Plus show Hawkeye is brought to the stage of Disneyland, and it's so good. It is so very good." And I'm like, the perfect place to be is on this ship. And so I just said, "Can I ask, was there ever a thought to bring, like, Frozen does not fit the vibe at all. It's the one thing that doesn't make sense on that ship is to have Frozen there. And even though every story has a villain, okay, Hans, the villain, but it's not a hero villain play. So I said, did you ever think about having Rogers the Musical?" And they said, there was talk of it. And I go, "Well, come on, tell me. What are you going to tell me?" And he said, "Listen, I was not the final decision maker. Also, I had never seen Rogers the Musical." He's like, "So I know it was over in Disneyland, but I never saw it in person. I think it was the difference of we couldn't bring the exact same show over because of the size of the stage." And I'm like, "Okay, everything's adaptable, so blah, blah, blah." But that's it. That is my thorn. I mean, I also, like I said earlier, the color palette is not my fave. However, when you see how they change the color palette, it changes your mood and your vibe and everything about that. So those are my rose and thorn. And
Yeah.
I know I'll be on it again. And I know I'll be on it again with my family next time so that they can experience it. And I already have a little, a heads up there. And I will just tease that team members, so Visit Mickey team members, so we have an Instagram page at Visit Mickey and Facebook at Visit Mickey. And we will be back on it December 3rd through 7th for a 4-night sailing on the Destiny with some team members. So we're going to get even more content and try to catch some of the stuff we did not get to do in the 3-day preview. So look for more details coming. Look for Dustin as he finishes up is it a 9-day trip? Is your trip
It's
9
about
days?
10, yes.
10. He has a 10-day trip that he's only on day 5 of, or 5? 6, I don't know.
Yeah, so this will be number 6. And so, yeah, I'm calling it Disney Coast to Coast and Beyond. So we started on the Disney Destiny Maiden Voyage, came up to Disney World for Jollywood last night. We have Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party tonight. And then tomorrow morning, we fly from Orlando to LAX and doing Disneyland in California on Thanksgiving Day and the day after Thanksgiving.
Yep. And then back to Ohio, right? From
That's
there.
right.
Okay.
Yes.
So, I mean, he's got a lot going on. And so keep watching him. Again, we're going to just Instagram that again and say at Dustin on deck for the number 4 DCL is how you're going to find Dustin. And Dustin did get a little bit of a, what do you call that? Accolade, right? You got an accolade of being in the top 20 Disney Cruise Line creators on Instagram. So that means he's doing a good job, right? He was recognized for doing a good job. He's doing a good job and he is fun to watch. He takes he gets amazing content and he sprinkles it. He doesn't download his whole phone. He keeps it going throughout the time. And so he's definitely someone you want to follow. Again, I hope you're going to follow Visit Mickey and, let us help you whenever you're ready to travel. But this has been All Aboard with Visit Mickey, and we are happy to have you back. And the next episode, this is episode Just Disney Destiny. Next episode, I'll be filming in a couple days, and that is going to be the comparison of the 3 Wish class ships. We're going to take each space and say which we prefer between the Wish, the Treasure, and the Destiny. So that's what's next up on our podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you're on YouTube, thank you for watching. If you're watching in the Instagram short, thank you for that too. All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.